Right, now then, we're going to talk about the interpretation of the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ and propose a more fundamental Christian eschatology to that sacred book. We're not like Luther, who casts the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ out. That's one of many of his mistakes. He was a man that we can trust to, but there are some things that he failed to understand. He, like us, was just a man, not God. And in order not to have him to be seen and accepted as the ultimate truth, the mistakes he did are to be seen. That should teach us. Man is fallible. Man is prone to err. He is not perfect. Now then, we have very many schools of interpretation to the book of the Revelation. The historicists, the millennialists, the post-millennialists, the preterists, but there's only one true school of interpretation that has been missed. Now that sounds as though it's arrogant. Well, would it have been arrogant in the times of futurism? The historicist school? Or the preterist, or post-millennialist, or millennialist? The one we propose and can prove from the revelation of Jesus Christ is that which we have not found a name for at the present time. But it is a fundamental interpretation by the doctrine of the Bible to the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ. It is the doctrinal interpretation from the doctrinal to the historical to the metaphorical, all three joined as one. We start with the fundamental doctrine of the Bible. Then we see the historical and metaphorical. And not one of them fall out with any of themselves. They all are one. Okay, we'll come to that towards the end to show. First of all, let's get this straight. The Antichrist of Scripture, the Antichrist, not antichrists. John speaks of one Antichrist and then many Antichrists. The one Antichrist, of course, that final revelation of the Antichrist is the Imperial Roman Church, the second beast of Revelation 13. Revelation 13, verse 13 onwards to 18, describes a sacred order to the Antichrist. The first Antichrist, of course, was Imperial Rome. crucified Christ along with the Jews crucified Christ. That the papacy went further in putting a man up. I mean, Imperial Rome had its pontiff in the sense of bridge builder. The Pontifex Maximus and all this. But Rome, the Roman Church, sets a man up greater than Imperial Rome did in its kings and Caesars. Okay. Imperial Roman Church, the Roman Imperial Church, and we'll go on about this. It's the Imperial Roman Church. That's the papacy. It's not the Catholic Church. We are the Catholic Church. True Christians constitute the Catholic Church. That out there, the Antichrist, is the Imperial Roman Papal Church. And it started this business, didn't it? Of declaring itself to have rule over all of mankind and all of creation and all of time and years. That it could change times and days and everything upon the planet and even outside. Eh? Nicholas Copernicus, anathema. Because the church said the sun went round the earth instead of the earth around the sun, for starters. Anyhow, it was in the 1200s, wasn't it, that the papacy became more and more political. It had been from the forming of it by Imperial Rome. It gradually found over the years its feet and contended against Imperial Rome, forcing Constantine to go into Turkey, Byzantium, fashioning the term Constantinople, because he'd had a bellyful of the papal church and left his seat at Rome to go into Turkey, fed up of him. And you know, an awful lot of persons that went into the amphitheatres were Romanists. Because they're battling against the mother, Imperial Rome, that had given birth to it, this monstrosity. Anyhow, that's another piece of history, another subject. In the 1200s, not only did it become more and more and more fundamental in its approach, that it had the great authority upon earth and that everybody was going to be subject or should be subject to it. Okay, in its political sphere and its so-called sacred sphere. Going on crusades against the Turks. Gaining wealth beyond all avarice from the crusades. And of course you've got Avignon, haven't you? The Avignon papacy. Eh? 3 popes. Of course popery began, in a sense, in Avignon, France. He sat there and then took up the seat in Rome where the Imperial Roman dictators, Caesars, sat just to show who it was that was replacing the first beast. Who was in charge now? But as the Pope did so, two other popes came up in Avignon. Hey! Didn't they, in the 1300s? The Babylonian captivity, they call it. Aye, anathemas being flung out against each other. Of course, in the 1300s, the papacy in Rome was really established. So, with this in the background, so-called Saint Peter divided himself into three, became three popes. To this day they don't know who the Pope is, or Peter, Saint Peter. Was it the two in France, or was it the one in Rome? In the midst of this, the historicist viewpoint of the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ began to rise up. Began to rise. First person was a Roman, a Romanist, Jehoiakim of Fiore, right, in the 12th century. Now he claimed that a new age would dawn in 1260. Yeah. A new age. According to the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ, a new age would dawn in 1260. He set the pattern, of course, for those who followed, who turned up and said, oh, this is going to happen in such and such a time, precise date, so on and so on and so forth, till you get to the likes of Miller, who said Christ will return upon this date. He doesn't return on another date, doesn't return on another date, doesn't return on another date. At 2:10 in the afternoon. Oh, he could even predict the time. And people got weary of this in the 1800s. And so it is that under Jehoiakim of Fiore, all right, the historicist interpretation in the book of the Revelation was established. Then of course came Nicholas of Lyra, 1270 to 1349, a Franciscan monk. The Franciscan monks, of course, were created by Francis of Assisi, dunking his donkeys, baptizing them, trying to save them from their sins. Oh. Okay. And he took a literal interpretation to the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ. And that's how it is. And he took the book of the Revelation historically. Future events, even past events. But mainly future events. he would come up with Arianism is in the future. For instance, all the battles, all the people are attributed to him. Like Charlemagne, he predicted Charlemagne. But the historicist viewpoint and the preterist viewpoint and post-millennialist viewpoints and millennialist viewpoints, they're all incorrect. They're all totally incorrect. The historicist viewpoint was predominant for years and still is, in a sense. It's all mingled in with post-millennialism, millennialism. It's all mingled in. It's all mingled up and jumbled up. And preterists. And people still trying to define the lines, but when you look at it all, they're all intermixed. It's chaos and confusion because it comes from the kingdom of chaos and confusion, the devil's kingdom, which the natural man is in. No matter how we try to separate these things into historicism, preterism, millennialism, post-millennialism, no matter how we define them, we're going to still see in them one and the same thing in each one of them. Millennialist Darby, for instance, who says the things after chapter 4 are futurist. Well, that's part of futurism. But then again, you see, that's the aspect. And we say, well, okay, that's the millennialist approach. But that's not the historicist approach. But there is an aspect of the historicist approach in it. You see, the historicist viewpoint of the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ is in all of those that I've just said. It's all there, present. It's totally chaotic, and it's the fancy of corrupt minds. Well, they're destitute of the truth. How is it that you've got one main source and it splits off? It's like a tree and the branches split off. The one main source, historyism. Or is it millennialism? Future, 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 future. Nothing of the back. But then again, you go to the back and it gets confusion upon confusion upon confusion. And the thing about it is this. In all the hands of the historicists and preterists and the millennialists, etc., the interpretations keep changing. Keep changing. So there's something wrong with their eschatology, isn't there? And it's always to the fancy of men. They attribute outward events and place them into the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ in order to validate what they are bringing to others as the teaching of the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ, and it puffs them up. Look at me, I've got the interpretation. Because this event happened here, this event, and as the years go on, the events then change. This man holds to this, now this man holds to this, and he can prove it from history. But he could prove it from history. No wonder popery owns the historicist viewpoint, and the likes of Seventh-day Adventists hold to the historicist viewpoint. And all the rest of them, in spirit, JWs, Darbyites. Why do you think they own those things? Because they're error. They don't hold the truth. Equally, every interpretation that is brought to the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ by corrupt men of corrupt minds emphasizes Western history. What about the rest of the world? What about the rest of the world? That's left out. And again, as soon as a new age begins, the interpretations of the book of the Revelation of Jesus Christ alters to the fancy of men. And by the way, Jonathan Edwards, Jonathan Edwards started postmillennialism, eschatology. He started that. And of course, at the end of the day, it is all to get away from the fact that the papacy and the Pope, one and the same, head and body, remain to be the Antichrist.